Chorus Voices, the podcast brought to you by Chorus, a fresh approach to community service. Settle in, listen in, and enjoy the voices who bring you reflections, musings, and stories from our community.
Welcome to Chorus Voices. I'm Lois Portelli.
And I'm Philippa Paganoni, but Lois calls me Phyllis.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about volunteering. I've been working for Meals on Wheels for 26 years.
I have been working for Meals on Wheels for 23 years, and I really enjoy it because I think it is good to help the elderly of the community.
You might notice that we're filling in on this occasion for Dan and Louise, as we feel that we know more about volunteering than they do.
Well, what I'd say is that I worked all my life, and when I retired, I was determined to do something for the community and not just stay at home and have cups of tea. Well, that was the idea of me doing it, but I mean, that is my excuse.
For similar reasons, I do it because I wanted to put something back into the community. I still work part-time, but I really enjoy it because you get to meet a lot of people in this district that you wouldn't normally meet, and a lot of them we already know or we know of. And also, the thing I find very beneficial is that we get to check on them, the clients, on their welfare, if they need extra help or if they don't answer their door or things like that. We report it as soon as we get back so that someone can follow through and help those people.
Since Chorus has taken over, we find that we get never, ever any complaints about the food, and everything is always delivered at the right time. And I hope, like myself, everybody is very, very friendly towards these elderly people who need us.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I think it's very professionally run. Before, when we were owned by the council, run by the council, it was sort of not such a high priority, I don't feel. But, I mean, they did a good job, the council, to the best of their ability, but this seems to be more focused on the clients than we were previously.
What I've found since I've been doing this work is that because of my age and always living in the area, so many of the clients, I either know them or their family, and you feel as if you've got a real close connection to them, like a personal interest.
And when they die, it's awful for us. It's like losing a family member. You get very, very involved with them. And it seems to me that a lot of them, it's an important part of their day, having us just go there and deliver a meal. And we don't have time to stop and have a long conversation, but we do try and make them feel like we care, that we're there and that we know what's going on, that we sort of are a break in their day.
We had one client who we delivered to for many, many, many years, up until the age of, he turned 100.
Oh, Mr. Lewis?
No, Mr. Ulrich.
Oh, he turned 100, I didn't realise that.
And we were so close to him. When he passed away, his son was so grateful for the service and friendship that Lois and I gave him, that he sent us a big bouquet of flowers. And you felt that you're not only helping him with his meal, but he looked forward to us coming every Tuesday. And I think that's important, to have a smile on your face. Don't begrudge him your 5 minutes. And if you want to stay 5 minutes extra, I think the person who is waiting for their meal would mind waiting that 5 minutes if you're helping somebody else who hasn't got a family.
So look, thank you very much to Phyllis and Lois for introducing and hosting this edition of Chorus Voices. I'm Dan Minchin.
And I'm Lou Forster.
We'll hear a little bit more from Phyllis and Lois later on today. But Lou, one of the things that everybody who comes in touch with Chorus notices is the volunteer ethos and the volunteer spirit. Tell us a bit about your feelings around that and your experience of it in the last little while.
I've worked in this sector for over a decade and worked with volunteers for most of that time. And I have to admit that I've probably seen the contribution that volunteers bring as kind of more of a resource. They bring the things that they do in their hours or days of kind of service, and there's a way of looking at volunteering as kind of what kind of contribution to your organisation. 100 hours of volunteering brings you a dollar amount or something.
Right, yeah.
So, I feel really quite impacted by my, quite long view of seeing volunteers as resources. And I would say that, Chorus and our approach and some of the people we have working at Chorus, and including an awesome woman called Michelle Williams, have really taught me that the way to work with volunteers is really to see them as people that are really striving to do something with purpose, and that if an organisation can create something that provides someone with purpose to volunteer, then the resources are almost a follow-on that'll come too.
Yeah.
I've completely flipped my way of thinking about volunteering, so that's probably the biggest learning I've had since finding out how well we work with volunteers.
And it really does seem to sort of ooze out of the walls in this place. And what is interesting is the ripple effect that it has. It unleashes that sense of passion and purpose for the volunteer, but also the staff who work here kind of build on that. One of the things we talk a little bit about at Chorus is what we're trying to do differently is to see the people we work with as living in a community, and what can we do to breathe life into their network, their support network. One of the most practical things we can do is connect people with volunteers who are giving of their time for some greater purpose of their own, and really try and build that support around people. So it's not just about getting in and doing tasks and delivering services, it's about unlocking our community potential around every individual.
Yeah, I was talking to one of our gardeners, a guy called Alex, who the whole time he's been working with us, he's worked alongside one of our volunteers, Andy, who's living with dementia, early onset dementia, and we've spoken about Andy before. And I had this long conversation with Alex, and he spoke about how much he'd learnt by working alongside Andy and going on that journey with him, and how much he'd got out of that. And the whole team had. So it's really not just about the person volunteering, but it's just like, it's a whole family, whole ecosystem, and everyone wins and benefits.
Yeah, that's right. One of the other places we see a lot of volunteerism within Chorus is the Chorus kitchen. And Lou, you spent a bit of time down there with some of the folks working within the kitchen. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, I was very interested in our kitchen, and then particularly got an email. Well, we worked with Amanda Waters, who works in the kitchen, and I've kind of had a lot to do with her, so I've enjoyed having a bit of banter with her back and forth. And I got an email from one of our volunteers called Lois, who's one of the hosts on the show, and she just had some feedback about something about the brand. And so I said, how about I come down and meet with you? And
right.
It worked out that they volunteer on a Tuesday, Lois and Phyllis, and so I said, well, how about I come and do the run with you? And so that's how this whole episode really came about, which was great. But going down there and meeting the team, there's an awful lot of people that work down at our Chorus kitchen. And Mandy told me that we have 86 volunteers and 6 paid staff in that kitchen. So
that's amazing.
There's no way that we could do what we do without those volunteers. They're an integral part of what we do.
And then they become a part of the community that wraps around the customers of Chorus. And so let's hear a little bit more from Lois and Phyllis and your day on the road.
I started doing Meals on Wheels on the 15th of August 1995, and I had about 9 months off when my husband was dying of cancer, and Lois continued by herself, and then I come back again and been doing it. So
She didn't trust me on my own.
really enjoyed it. I always worked, and I said that when I finished working I wasn't going to sit home on my backside, so I come up here and I started Meals on Wheels within 6 months of retiring.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's like over 20 years you've been doing that. That's incredible.
And Lois has been doing it more,
Longer.
haven't you? No.
Yeah. Forever and ever.
What do you like about doing it? Other than keeping you motivated?
Well, I like meeting the people, and then I like my relationship with Lois. We're only a Tuesday relationship, but really, it's really nice. And then occasionally we go out for lunch,
And we ring up each other when things happen in our lives.
Yeah, yeah.
And tell each other what's
Because
going
we've got
on.
quite a bit in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really nice. I knew that there was a friendship here because when I said to Lois about coming out, she said, well, Phyllis is my my sidekick or her research. And
Well, see, when Lois can't come, I do it myself.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Vicky works, so we cover each other.
yeah,
Because
and then if anything happens and Phyllis say she's got a place down at Medora where she goes with her grandkids in the holidays,
Yeah.
so rather than have to come back up here, well, if Nino's not doing anything, he comes with me.
he's the backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
But if you don't have anyone, it's easier to do it on your own.
yeah, it's just more fun when there's two of you.
Yeah.
Well, it is, because time goes quicker, doesn't it?
Because you chit chat.
Yeah, that's right.
So you know the streets like the back of your hand as well.
Yeah, well, Phyllis's sister used to live in this street.
Oh, you're going back many years now. But for the first 15 years, I drove and Lois was the runner.
Yeah.
And after my husband passed away and I come back, I said, well, you can drive now and I'll... So I've been delivering since 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, before that I always drove.
It's good that you got the bits at work.
Oh, well, we just fit in with each other.
Now, you'll have to go and see Mr. Castley's breakfast.
This is the guy that
This
eats
is legendary.
legendary breakfast, and he's the cyclist. Was the cyclist?
Yeah. I used to go and watch him with my kids when he used to cycle in Fremantle when I was first married. That was in the 1950s.
Someone's coming.
You don't like... Oh. Sorry, I thought you may not have heard it.
Oh,
Sorry.
you thought I was still sleeping in, didn't you? After
Well,
the
I didn't
weekend.
think that, no.
Good morning,
Back
did you have a
out.
nice long weekend?
Yeah, this is my, one of our reps.
Hello, how are you?
Louise,
I'm Louise.
just coming to meet you.
Yes.
He's coming on the
So-
round.
I know this, darling. She
Yes.
sees me regularly. My wife knows about it.
Oh,
but-
good. That's good to know. So is it nice having the meals delivered and someone just to say good day?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, terrific. Yeah, I'm the chief cook otherwise, and I'm not a very good cook.
Gives you a day off.
But it gives you time off, doesn't
Oh,
it, really?
that's a big plus.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a beautiful garden.
Oh,
Very
well,
lovely.
I've got to keep myself out of mischief.
Yeah, no, it's good. Well, you have a good day.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you.
See you next Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, bye.
Meals. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you two?
Good, thank you.
Good,
Oh,
good.
thank you very much, dear.
This is Louise. She's coming just to say hello to the customers today.
Oh,
Just coming to see what we do when we go and deliver the meals and just to kind of say hello. So
Oh, yes. Can you come in or are you in a hurry,
Well,
dear?
probably can't. We're kind of keeping on moving. But are you happy with having your meals delivered?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's
very
good.
happy.
Excellent. Is it nice having someone just to kind of say hello as well as just
That's
the meal?
right. Yes.
That's good.
That's quite true, dear. Yes.
Excellent.
It feels lovely and cold.
Yeah, well, we keep it in the esky on ice.
Yes. I mean, this hot weather, you can't eat hot things.
No,
They've
no.
got to be
Yeah.
icy cold.
Yeah.
It feels like a warm one again today. I think it's going to be hot this week.
Yes,
Had
it
a-
feels it, doesn't
Had
it?
a- Well, you have a lovely day and I hope you enjoy your
Oh,
meal.
yeah, thank you very much,
welcome.
dear. I'd love to see you.
Okay then.
Yes.
Okay then.
Okay, take
And
care.
you take
Good morning. Come in. Oops, she's walking. I can't believe it. Good morning. How are you? I've got a friend with me today. Hello. This is Louise.
Hello, Louise.
I'm Louise. Good to meet you.
Sweetheart, I'm Jean.
Hi, Jean.
Hiya, darling. I'm trying to do a bit of walking, but I'm not good. I'm not good.
Where's your stick? You
I've
don't-
got my walker. I should use my walker.
Yeah, because you don't want to fall over.
Oh, that's true. That's what they give it me for.
Yeah.
Is it around? Do you want me to go and get it for you?
No, darling, I'm
Sure.
all right. I'm
You
all
gotta
No, I
right.
recognise the accent from the homeland.
Oh, yeah, Manchester.
Yeah.
Where are
that's
you
it.
from?
London.
Oh, yeah. I only went to London when I was a little girl. And I saw these sights, and then you come back. And the train caught fire.
Oh, no, really?
That's why I remember London.
Yeah. Not very good memories.
No,
no,
good memories. The
Yeah.
train caught fire, but we're
Yeah.
all off one train onto another,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Australia?
51 years.
Wow. There you go.
And I've still got the accent.
But
haven't
it's
I?
beautiful. Don't you
It's
love
lovely.
it?
I do
love
love
it.
it.
I love it.
Oh yeah,
Makes you feel
you
nostalgic.
never get rid of it, do you?
No,
love?
no.
You don't. You never
No.
get rid of it. No.
Well, it's the first time I've come and she hasn't been sitting
Sat
on her
down.
chair doing her craft
Doing
work
something.
and that.
Yeah, I just put it down because I was just changing colours.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought, right, I'll make a brew while I change colours.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like to do something, sweetheart.
That's good.
I am trying.
But
The
that's
answer is
good.
I'm
That's
trying.
good. Yeah.
I am
And
trying.
is having the meals delivered
Oh
helpful?
yes. Oh yes, they do help. You
Yeah,
don't they, love?
yeah.
They do. I just put them in my little oven, and then I don't have to worry about things.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I pick what I want and what I don't want to leave.
That's right. Yeah.
Nobody
yeah.
knows, do they?
No.
No, that's
How are you?
Nobody's here to say eat that. I said, well, I'm
Yeah.
not eating it. When we were kids, you know, you said, no, I'm not eating it. I said, well, you're not getting anything else.
No.
I eat that or do without. That's what we got, didn't we, darling?
And some parents make the kids sit there until they've finished what they got on their plate.
You have to do.
Yeah,
We do.
Do you still do those things these
Oh,
days?
not really. No.
You got to cook what they like, I reckon.
Or just not forcing them to eat too much. But it's
Yeah.
amazing, isn't it, when you're born, if it was in the war
Oh,
or
yeah,
around
yeah,
the wartime,
yeah.
you didn't want to waste anything.
That's right,
Now
that's
there's so much around.
Yeah.
It's a very different
Well,
time.
people seem to have money these days.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks,
See
Jane.
ya.
Take care. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.
What's it like having me come out for the run?
It was good, yeah. It was interesting to see it from someone else's point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it gave you an insight into the groundwork,
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you think that's important as well?
Oh,
that
yes.
leaders know what's going on?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
What about you, Phyllis?
Yeah, I think it was good, and I think the people liked it too.
They did, didn't they?
They did. No one ever looked at you. When they saw the two faces
they didn't
there.
seem to mind.
No,
And a
and
few of
they
them
were
said-
willing to talk.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
even Mr. in the little
In his
pyjamas.
short- in his
Yeah, well, he's an intelligent man.
Mr. Milburn.
Yeah, Mr. Milburn. Yeah.
Yeah, he was quite chatty, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good. No, and I'm pleased we had the little interview with Verna.
So that sounds like a pretty fantastic day, and that's happening day in, day out, Lou. The connection that gets formed amongst these volunteers and with some of the customers is almost like a family. And we celebrated an important birthday recently with one of the customers, didn't we?
Yeah, so we went to deliver some meals to Verna, a Chorus customer, and stopped and had a bit of a chat. Phyllis said, I think you'll like to have a chat with Verna, so we kind of sat down and didn't have a cup of tea, didn't have enough time for that, but we had a bit of a chat, found out that Verna had turned 90 over the weekend and had celebrated that with all of her huge family by the sounds of it. And Phyllis and Verna go back, way back. I think Lois and Phyllis generally just know everybody in the community and where they lived and who they're connected to. It was incredible. But yeah, they go back over 70 years, Phyllis and Verna, and a wider community. They were having lunch with the group that week and another group over here. And it was just absolutely fascinating.
Well,
I
let's hear a bit about it in their words.
Yeah.
Lovely Phyllis is here.
Now,
How about
Verna,
that?
have you got a minute?
Yes, of course I have. Come on in. Come on in.
We're not staying long.
That's all right. I'm very happy to see whoever is wherever.
So this is Louise,
I'm Louise.
and this is Verna Buck.
I'm Verna.
Lovely to meet you, Verna.
And lovely to meet you too.
We were just talking in the car about keeping community going and how you went to school with Phyllis's sister.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
you all have a
the lovely
connection.
Nancy, and now she's delivering my food and all that sort of thing. I'm very, very grateful. Do you have time to sit down? Cup of tea, coffee, anything?
Probably not tea or coffee because Lois is
sit
in
down
the
for a
car.
minute,
Let's
yeah.
I'd love
Sit
to
down.
sit
Just
for
draw
a
it
minute.
up. So there you go.
So how often do you have a meal delivered?
3 days a week,
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
Happens to be my good friend here. And Melissa comes in the middle of the week. And then I think it's a mother and son combination come on Thursday.
Oh, see, I'm not familiar with any of the other drivers.
That's right.
Just interesting reflection. Verna, the name Chorus came about to say that individually we're just one voice, but together we're so much more.
Exactly.
Chorus.
Yes.
And Dan's been talking very much recently. Our CEO, Dan, our Chief Executive Officer, has been talking about who's in your chorus.
Yes.
Like it's about your community.
Yes,
And
yes.
everyone's got a different chorus. And sometimes it's
Exactly.
bigger,
Oh,
sometimes
yes.
it's
And it's
smaller.
And we
made
all
up,
sing together in the end. We really
it's
sort
made
of
up
do.
of all different
It is.
aspects,
Well,
isn't
just
it,
listening
really?
to you
today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, male and female for a start, and then young and old.
Yeah.
And then people that you knew because you're in the same area.
Yeah.
We often used to say the apple didn't drop very far from the tree.
That's
and
right.
it didn't.
Thank you so much
Look,
for giving us a few
thank you
minutes of
so
your
much.
time.
It's only pretty
Yes.
past 9.
Well, that's a great story of a big milestone being shared in the Chorus family. I actually went down to visit another family celebration with Mrs. Lee, who turned 100, and she's been part of the Bull Creek Community Centre, which is a Chorus service, with a huge turnout from her family, 4 generations of her family, and a large number of volunteers, again, who've been coming into the Bull Creek Centre for many years to work with the Chinese community and get involved in all the activities that go on down there, speak language together and that sort of thing. So these sorts of things are happening all the time across Chorus and across other organisations in this space across Western Australia. There's so much effort that goes into volunteering across Western Australia every day. It makes you wonder what it is that motivates people to do it.
Absolutely, and we have over the last couple of years been out and about and spoken to a number of our volunteers and found out a little bit more about what motivates them, why they do it, how they got into the role they're in, and that's from people doing gardening and working alongside people and in day centres and doing all sorts of roles. So yeah, we've got a nice varied view from some of our volunteers.
I was going through the local paper and they had notices for volunteers, so I decided I would go and have a look and see what was it all about. I've been a volunteer for 27 years.
I think I always wanted to volunteer 2 or 3 years before I retired or that, and I wanted to do gardening. And we saw the ad in the paper and that's what it was.
I retired early and decided to at least do something with my life rather than just sit around and look for interaction with different people, so I started to do volunteer work.
In 2011 I was doing a TAFE course in horticulture, and I had a decision of working at Bunnings or volunteer task force, and I decided to do volunteer task force, and I enjoyed working around good people here. They're like a family.
I've been volunteering for Care Options for I think probably 5 years now, and I really enjoy it. I love interacting with the old fellas and the ladies on a Friday.
I did my Cert 4 in disability and I had to do work placement, so I started volunteering with Care Options at the day centre at our house, and I just loved it. So after my study I just stayed there. I was in a position where I could keep volunteering, and then after 2 years they offered me a job and now here I am.
I really enjoy the work I do, and I've only been doing it for 2 months.
Firstly, our volunteers are so incredibly valuable because they put in the time and the dedication that we are so very grateful for, because if we didn't have our volunteers we wouldn't be able to probably run days like we do with men's group.
Yeah, it's so important to have volunteers because they're able to, we're able to do what we do with them. With such a big group, about 17 boys sometimes, we need as many hands as we can get. And they do it for free, they do it out of their own love and passion, so we really appreciate it, and the help is great.
They are incredibly great with the clients. They've built up wonderful rapports. They make the day fun, and we would be lost without them.
I like to help people who need help if they can't do it for themselves, and that gives me satisfactory doing it for them.
It gets me out for the 2 days a week, and we do a lot more things with different people and enjoy their company.
We're there to look after our clients and make sure that they arrive on time for their appointments or whatever. And
They got to know you and you get to know them, and that's where I enjoy it.
We've met some beautiful clients, they want you to come back and have cups of tea with them.
It gives them a bit of happiness when we do their yard and make it look nice for them, for self-confidence.
But you come home at the end of the day and you feel that you've helped somebody, and that a lot of these people have just lost their husband or wife or whatever, and so they can't do their own garden. So yeah,
I just enjoy coming. It gets me up in the morning, gives me something to do. and I look forward to coming to seeing everyone at work.
Yeah, you have a lot of fun and you learn a lot, and you interact with them and ask their history and their life stories, which you find all sorts of interesting things that they've done.
That call of answering the paper has come and got me a lot of new friends.
It's been a wonderful journey. We enjoy gardening, and we've had some great experiences, and we still want to keep doing it as long as we can.
Jim and Wanda's story of volunteering really stood out for me. I mean, they've been volunteering, doing gardening for decades with us, and my nan and granddad did so much gardening. I must admit, when I've met them and heard from them, it's really kind of brought me back home, and it's been great. It's been great seeing them, and Wanda's recently retired from volunteering with us, and we gave her a great send-off, although she's been back recently for our Perth Garden Festival garden, so it's like still part of the family, even though she's retired.
Absolutely.
But we do a lot of work trying to foster volunteering in Western Australia, as well as having hundreds of volunteers working with Chorus. There's a couple of key initiatives that you've been involved with, Dan. Tell us a bit more about those.
Yeah, we were recently invited to be part of a conversation with the state government, and there's actually a Minister for Volunteering, Minister Mick Murray, who's got a group of people together to talk about ways and means of making it easier and more effective to volunteer in Western Australia. So, look, I've only just started, but it's great to have been given that opportunity to get involved. The other thing that we're doing in the volunteering space to do with sort of supporting and nurturing volunteering in Western Australia is we're sponsoring an award in the Volunteer of the Year Awards in Western Australia. And the category we're looking at is the Youth Volunteer of the Year. I've just been through the 12 or so applications. Some just amazing stories of volunteerism that, in people under the age of about 30 are giving so much time and effort, and they've often got a really interesting story of their own. That's what they bring. So I look forward to presenting that award in May as part of Volunteering Week, and it's been a fantastic exposure for me to get to see the bigger picture of volunteering in this state.
So I think importantly for us all to think about volunteering, we talked about purpose, and we've heard from volunteers about what it means to them to volunteer their time and to contribute to their community. So I definitely encourage people to think about volunteering, thinking about something that really means something to them. Volunteer with an organisation or a cause that has significance for them. So if people are in Western Australia, between Perth and down to Albany, we would love them to come and volunteer with Chorus. They can check us out at chorus.org.au. And if you're wider afield, there are national and international kind of bodies to help you find out where to volunteer, and I'd highly recommend it. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Sort of, when you look back on your own life, on and off over the years, I've been involved in various causes, from sports clubs to clubs when I was at uni and other voluntary activities, and it's always rewarding, it's always interesting, and it's just one of those great truisms that the more you give, the more you get. So look, Lou, it's been a very interesting chat today. We've heard from many Chorus voices, and before we go, let's hear again from our hosts today, Lois and Phyllis, on the Chorus Voices podcast.
Thanks for listening to this session on volunteering. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's inspired other people to give their time for this good cause.
And thank you very much for Chorus for all they're doing for the community, not only Meals on Wheels but many, many other aspects.
I've been Lois Portelli.
And I'm Philippa Paganoni.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening. And you have been listening to Chorus Voices.
Thanks for listening to Chorus Voices, the podcast brought to you by Chorus. If you like our show and wanted to know more, check out our website at chorus.org.au. And please leave a review. We'd love to hear your feedback, and it helps others find us and enjoy the podcast as well. Join us next time for more inspiring stories and news from our community. Chorus, a fresh approach to community service.